and just to, I mean, really, she has. Our marriage was tested and many times throughout our life, but really to see, I didn't really know what she was made of and who the woman that she is, and so that to me that just makes me love her even more. Just to be able to see now, you know, she's there. When she said made her vow, she's truly meant that. She was there.
When you deal with so many young people, what do you tell them about not only just keeping the faith, but they're about to step into a different cycle in their life where they're going to college, they're introduced to a whole lot of new things, females, males, relationships.
It doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter what age you are.
That girl walks by, catches your eye, you're in trouble.
Well, when it comes to that absolutely. But I mean, just in terms of thinking that we are, you know, nothing can ever happen to us.
You're invincible. You're young. Nothing happens too young. You're in shape.
Yeah, and you're saying when you're in your 30s, you know, well, when I'm in my 30s, I'm dying, you know, or I'm almost dead. That's what a teenager would probably think. Right. But it's coming really fast, and. So to think that, you know, in the back of your mind that nothing can ever happen to you. One of the things that really God taught me through all of this was, you know, He will meet you in your darkest moment with the brightest joy. And that, you know, there are going to be times in your life where you are going to go through difficult times, and your faith will either persevere or you'll fall apart.
Why do you think you went through this?
I believe I went through this so that I could have a platform to talk about the gospel, to talk about what Christ has done for me. What a unique way for us to share and experience this pain, and then to be able to share truly what God has done for me in my life. And it's not always about what He's done for me, but what He did on the cross, and then what He has done to heal my body. And we're still a work in progress, but it's really neat. I don't guess I ever imagined when we stepped out of the ministry at Crosspoint for a while there.
Because that had to be a big decision for you too, stepping out and going into a profession that is not ministry.
Right. And we're still working with teenagers, but you know, it was definitely a faith step. But this was we really felt like this was what we were prepared to do. For probably the 6 months before we were sick, I had been in the gym really working hard and building my body up, and just, I guess, preparing for what I was about to go through.
Because if your body wasn't that strong, it would have been so much more difficult for you to be able to get through what you had to get through.
The doctors and nurses, even they said that if I probably had not been doing what I was doing, I wouldn't be here. And you know, when your body, you never know at any moment in time that
you can have a car wreck, a car accident on your way to work today, and you're in that situation. So maybe today will give you an opportunity to talk to your spouse, no matter what your age is, about your wishes, about what you would like done. And you know, no one likes to ever talk about those situations, but if it happens,
it happens.
And tough for Carrie.
Absolutely.
I mean, tough for Carrie. Oh, Moonshiners. Jamie's just giving me a message if we got some video available. Anything you want to say to anyone out there as far as you had some struggles about the doctors really not knowing how to diagnose you? Your white blood cell was low.
My white blood cell count was actually extremely high.
Extremely high.
It was actually in the 30,000s. You know, when the doctor said when you have a cut on your skin, just like your mom probably told you when you were younger, don't wait around to let it sit there and bleed or whatever it may be. There's no guarantee ever in life whether something like this is going to happen. And so one of the things I definitely want to say to our listeners is that there's nothing ever going to be able to prepare you to go through tragic moments in your life, but relying and trusting on the Lord and just allowing Him to be a part of what you're doing. There was a moment where I had to. I was either going to turn around and be miserable and turn and go in one direction, or I was going to trust that God actually had a plan through all of this. And there was that moment in the hospital where
when you woke up, did they have these discussions with you?
No, this was actually after my family had left, and I'm there in recovery, and I've got a pump on my leg, you know, for 2 months there, and you're just fighting through, you know, okay, God, why would you allow me to go through a situation like this? And here was my response and what He said to me: why not you? Why not you? Why not this happen to you? You're a sinner. You're just as bad as anybody else. Why not have something like this happen to you and you go through this pain and struggle? Because really, and this is what I truly believe, our suffering and the things that we are going to face in this life can't compare to what's going to happen in eternity. But how God can use that to grow us in our life. So whatever you're going through out there today, God wants to use that suffering to not only teach us a lesson, but to be able to be an encouragement to somebody else.
Do you ever go places and speak? I know you went to the church and you gave your testimony, but if anybody wants you to come out there and talk to their group, or even young kids, he's really good with them.
Absolutely.
Go talk to them.
Yeah, we really are looking for opportunities to share this story and this message of faith. And like I said, my wife's testimony through this is probably even more powerful than anything I could ever stand up and say. But
it was pretty powerful.
If anybody is interested in having us come and share at their church, or it doesn't have to be in the church, it could be in any local event.
It could be in the coach's room at a football game. What church do you go to now?
Zach Terry over at Capshaw Baptist Church, and Capshaw has been a huge part of just loving us. It's really neat to see the church wrap its arms around our family. We got to truly experience what a church really ought to be about, and that is, loving others. And they truly loved our family like we haven't experienced in a long time.
It's really amazing when you find a good church, or one that you feel real comfortable with, and it's outside just visiting church hours, and the time that you guys went through, I'm sure it was very helpful, from just bringing meals to maybe childcare, someone you can trust, or just someone being there. Let me run these errands for you, and people step up and do that.
They really do, and that's where the hands and feet truly. You come in, you see what people are made of. You see that it's not just a platitude that people are saying. This is what we believe. When you see faith in action, it's encouraging, and when people were coming to our home and bringing us meals, it encouraged my family. They
help the children.
Yeah, absolutely. They
felt good, didn't it, Hannah? Have a lot of friends. Yeah. Some shoulder to cry on. It's okay to do that too. Believe me, you'll get my age and still do it. Well, like you were saying, everybody's going to go through something. No matter who you are, you're going to go through it. Whether it's someone you've been with for a long time, or someone you've just met, someone you love, you're going to go through some hurtful times.
Absolutely, and having that proper mindset of what you're about to go through can be the difference. Knowing ahead of time that you're going to face these difficulties that Jesus went through.
Make the most of it.
Yeah, make the most of it. Everybody that has ever lived and walked this earth has had some kind of a challenge throughout their life. And then truly, I believe your theology, how you see God, how you understand Him, and maybe that may not be a lot for a lot of people. Maybe it just may be that you've asked Him into your heart, and that may be all that you've experienced really with Christ, which is huge.
It is huge.